All right. So what we will be discovering today is how to manage your workflow, how to manage your expectations, how to communicate effectively with your staff, and ensuring that quality of work. We'll discuss that, and the policies and handbooks that you can create to make sure that you're managing your workforce effectively. So first of all, we'll look at your managing of the workflow and understanding the work that needs to be done, and making sure that you do communicate that with your workforce. So Judith, how do you manage your workflow with your staff remotely?
We use teamwork, and all the tasks for any client, we have a series of tasks set up for all the routine things that need to be done. Some of the things may be daily, some of the tasks may be weekly, some monthly, some quarterly, but they're all set out with start and end dates. And therefore, for any bookkeeper any of our staff that comes in the morning, they have a series of tasks already up there for their day, ready for them to start. This is where they start, and their list of tasks ready for today.
Yeah, so it's really clear in what you've got, what they need to go into and get started in. And I know we spoke also about your Gantt graph, or Gantt, what is it, a Gantt chart?
Gantt chart, yes.
Yeah, so what does that show? Like, I love the idea of being able to look at it at any time, like a visualization and controlling your work.
For key tasks, we also create milestones. And therefore, I can look at the Gantt chart at any point in time, and as a task that has a milestone is done, the milestone's also marked off. So when it's coming to BAS time, particularly, the sort of milestones that we have there, have we got the paperwork, have we got the queries sorted, have we got the processing done, are the figures sent to the client, are the reports sent, and has it been lodged? So at any point in time, I can call up all of my clients and I can see exactly what tasks have been done and what tasks are still to be done. So that makes it easy for me to know which of my bookkeepers are struggling, because I know which are their clients, and so we can then give them help, or we can say, yes, we've got most of the work done now, we're on the home straight, and we're done. It makes it easy just to keep an eye on how things are tracking within the business.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to have that visualization of where things are up to, so that you don't have to be looking through your, you could have dozens or even, over 100 clients, to be able to, go through all of those. It's to be able to set your milestones and have that visualization of what's missed or what's, on target, I think is really critical.
Yeah.
So I think, the one thing from managing your workflow, the importance is to have a system. So whether it is, Carbon or Practice Manager or Asana, and in fact, Pure Bookkeeping have standard operating procedures for a lot of our cloud bookkeeping apps. And you may have already seen this screen from our talk last couple of weeks ago. But in the practice management software, we have created standard operating procedures on how to set up these softwares for a bookkeeping practice in managing staff, so that, when you do have remote staff, they're just logging in and they're seeing everything in here. So these are written by bookkeepers, and they're standard operating procedures on how to operate these systems. So whichever one you do, and you're using Teamwork, which isn't actually in here, but whichever system you choose, you must choose a system and set it up properly where you can get some results out of it, to set your milestones and see, to be able to monitor your work properly. I think that is the key thing in this discussion in managing your workflow. Nick, what are your clients typically doing at the moment with managing their workflow?
Look, I think this is an interesting topic. I think for me, it's one of the most difficult that we see bookkeeping and accounting firms really struggle with, to be honest. I think the ones that are doing it well are typically using a software like Carbon or Jetpack Workflow. which are really workflow systems. And then the next step that we see, if the firms aren't using those ones, they're typically just using the ones provided like XPM by Xero at no cost. And then I suppose the other stream is like Jude and that, using Teamwork or Asana, or in Microsoft, there's also a product called Planner, which is like a Trello board. Trello is the other one. So I think this is really where we have a lot of challenges with firms, is, you know, understanding where workflow is up to. Is that a lot of time they don't have the system. And I've heard a lot of the reasons why they don't implement things like Jetpack Workflow or Carbon is the cost. You know, $100 per person. I don't know what the cost is, so I'm just saying, if it is that cost, for example, I argue, well, what's the cost of the time of not knowing where workflow's at? So while it may seem like a lot of cost, the reality of being able to manage workflow in a more effective and efficient way is worth that price that you do pay. But we see some firms really doing it well, and then we see firms that have absolutely no structure, and it's a lot more difficult when you have no idea.
Yeah, and Deb, this is one of the reasons I know you created Pure Bookkeeping, was to be able to manage all of this.
Yes. You've got to get the stuff out of your head. It's really, and one piece of advice I give everyone, even when they're starting out, is even if you're not sure whether you are going to put on staff down the track or whatever, create the systems in your business at the start as if you have already made that decision, because you'll put the foundations in place, and then you'll get to the point, maybe 12 months, 18 months, whatever it is down the track, where you might say, actually, you know what, I think I'm in a good position. I've got all the systems set up, and I'm in a good position to be able to do that now. Once you're full up, it's much harder to actually, you can do it. I mean, I did it, I created it, and, you know, you can do it, but it's much harder.
Yeah, so get in early, as early as you can. Like, you know, I think a lot more bookkeepers now are using some type of software, which is awesome. But more than just using the software, make it work for you. Find out what reports you need, what information do you need to pull out from it to be able to help you monitor what you are doing. That's the only way that you're going to be able to scale, is to be able to control the work that you've got in your office.